All right, guys, we are here today. It is Nvidia earnings. It's a massive day for markets. You can honestly see Nvidia pushing up again this morning, making a pretty big move. It's gapping up some in pre-market. You can kind of see yesterday we had a pretty green day for Nvidia as well, which honestly I thought we might get choppiness ahead of Nvidia earnings. But Nvidia pushed up a lot yesterday. It's up this morning, and pre-market Tesla's up. You can see a lot of stocks actually doing well. You know, this morning doing well. Nasdaq's pushing up. This afternoon is like the Super Bowl of stocks. Doing well. It is one of the biggest days in markets over the next quarter. Really, it's one of the biggest days until the next earnings report for Nvidia. Are you bullish or bearish on Nvidia earnings? Vote on the poll. Let me know how you feel. Let me see if I can do a... Let me fix this. Hold on. What's up, Beach? Can I get a bull emoji? Will it let me put a bull emoji? Let me see. Bull emoji. Does it? There's a bull. Okay, got it. I think they call it an ox, but that's a bull, right? All right, so we're gonna do a poll here. Bull and bear. Are you bullish or bearish on today's Nvidia earnings report and call? Vote on that poll. Let me know how you feel. What's up, Triv, Sam, Eric, Muzz, Tay, 42, Doctor, Beach Bum, Ty, Martin, ER, Sam, Pawn, Game, Mark, B, Faye, Rex, Corey, Lost. What's up, guys? Good morning. Yeah. Take a look at it. Target falling down to 120s here. Honestly, it might be time for me to buy Target up too. Let me see what they showed. So Target ended up showing... Target ended up showing fourth quarter adjusted EPS of 185. Oh wait, no, that's I'm sorry, that's wrong. That is guidance numbers. They posted revenue of 25.67 billion, 25.67. Target missed EPS and revenue. So Target missed EPS and revenue. It's gapping down a significant amount. Wow. So yeah, Target reported early this morning in pre. TJ Maxx also reported this morning. The NBA 30-year mortgage rate actually went up a little bit. It went up to 6.9% from 6.8%. Looking at some other earnings stuff, but yeah, Target released. They are out. I can't find the actual results for Target. I'm showing for Target 185 EPS versus 229 expected. 25.97 revenue expectations. They came in at 25.67, so they missed EPS by a small margin. They missed EPS by a big margin. They missed revenue by a small margin. But look at Target falling down big. Is it time to buy it up is the question. Like, is it time to buy this? You know, honestly, it's Nvidia earnings day. It's a massive day in markets. Is it time to buy up Target now? Nvidia, again, very green, gapping up all the way at 147s. We'll see if that holds. Let me see what the poll shows here as well. We already got a couple hundred people here. We only started up 2 minutes ago. So 66% of people are bullish on Nvidia earnings. 34% are bearish. It is 6:30 a.m. my time. John, from your experience, when Nvidia pushes before results, does it presume they will be good? Insider information. Sometimes. It's not. There's not always a super obvious correlation. So it could be either one. It could be Nvidia pushing up big in anticipation of it. It could be Nvidia pushing up big from a lot of different reasons. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to come in good. It could mean that, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. My guess is it'll be bullish leading into earnings, and then no clue. Even if earnings are good, market could turn bearish if guidance is off. Yeah, for sure. Do you mean today leading up to the earnings or after the earnings? Well, I'm just talking about it in general, today alone with the earnings. What's up, Sam? We have 3 drives of bearish divergence on the weekly for Nvidia. Yeah, but it's earnings, so I mean, I don't think technicals are gonna matter super heavy. Walmart beating all of them. I live. Yeah. The target down significantly here. Walmart's had a great year too. Walmart started the year off at $47. It's now at 87. So almost up 100. Much like 155 or so. That's it. With earnings today, I think it's gonna move something. TJ Maxx reported earnings. We'll put some stuff up in the chat here. So again, you can kind of see the chat right here. There's TJ Maxx. We also had the NBA 30-year mortgage rate actually went up some. So the NBA 30-year mortgage rate showed up at 6.9%. 6.9. Here's that link right there. What, Target had the 1-to-3 split? Yeah, so Target paid dividends of $516 million in the third quarter. They cut fiscal year. What is Target divvy? I mean, you got to take Target's divvy into account too. So, I mean, look, there's a lot of reasons to argue for a dip buy in Target, to be honest. This is why. Target pays almost 3% dividend yield, right? So almost 3% you're going to make alone in dividends on Target. Good year, bad year, you're going to make 3% on dividends. Target's PE ratio right now is 19.9. So it's under 20 right now, PE ratio. Very good. That's a very good PE ratio. Their last annual dividend was almost $5 a share. So, yeah. Kind of makes sense. I don't know if I'm going to buy Target now. Let me see if I can calculate the PE ratio for Target now. So again, let's take a look here. I'll put a yearly chart up. So we had earnings drop. Posted 204 EPS for earnings. So again, let's calculate. $204 plus 298 plus 210. It looks like that's 210, right? What is this number? I can't see it. I like the daily chart, but okay, 147. So it's 203 plus 298 plus, what does it say? 197. I think it was 197, right? Yeah, let me just look up a different source. This is gonna take too long. All right, so Target here. I'm trying to calculate the current PE ratio. So, all right, yeah, here we go. All right, I found it. So yeah, Target posted. Yeah, let's calculate 185 today, plus 257, plus 203. We're looking at adjusted EPS, plus 298. Whoa. 1.85. I must have clicked the button. 2.57. 2.03 plus 2.98 gives us a quarterly, almost $10 yearly EPS at 943. So 943 targets currently at what? Like 128? 943. Yeah, 128. That gives Target a 13 PE ratio, and they're paying out a super high dividend, so you do want to take that into consideration. That might cause this to be lower, but that's a good PE ratio, almost 13. Honestly, I'm thinking about buying some right here, to be honest. We'll see. All right. All right. Nasdaq's down to 20.8 thousand. So again, this is a big day for markets, a huge day. Why won't it let me transfer? Why will you not let me transfer? I can transfer. It's just gonna be weird with it. All right. Sorry, I'm making a transfer here. All right, cool. All right, guys. So yeah, once you know, I put some more money back into this TOS account. We'll see if we get anything good. Hey, thank you, Jay. Man, it's been a while. I remember you. When is Nvidia report? Nvidia reports after the bell today, after the closing bell today. I wonder how fast they credit it. Oh wow, they credited it now. All right, cool. I think they did. Let's see if it let me buy it. I'm gonna buy Target if it did, just because Target's got a really low PE ratio and it's a. All right, let's see. Okay. What's a reasonable amount of shares here? What, like 25 shares? What are we gonna do? Something small, huh? Let me see. No, I should have enough in there now. I don't know if I have to switch to a margin again. Okay, it failed me. So we just bought 25 shares at Target. Low PE ratio, I just think it's time. Let's see what we do. Well, we got earnings today. So earnings today for Nvidia are after the closing earnings reports that kind of shocked the market. We had Neo earnings this morning, bad EPS, bad revenue. We had Target earnings this morning, bad EPS, bad revenue. But this is a big reaction from Target, you know. So yeah, it's a big reaction from Target. I'll show you guys the position currently. All right, so yeah, Target, just to put this into perspective, is down about 18%. 18%, which is a crazy big percentage decrease here. We bought a little bit up. Yeah, I don't think that has anything to do with it. Again, like, look, Target has a super low PE ratio. Every time I go to Target, it's packed. There's so many people there. I buy 4 or 5 products. I spend like hundreds of dollars. Target is doing really well. Like, look. And so I know people get politics wrapped up in it. I don't care about any of that stuff. Target, their EPS has been very strong, right? So a dip in EPS is not like unheard of right now. I think it had to do with analysts. I think analysts expecting them to post like some super high number here. I don't know if it really matters that much. If we look at revenue, you know, I think people get political bias wrapped up into this, but again, and this is a small risk position. Buying 25 shares, it's only a couple $1,000s. So I don't mind taking this small little position here. But this is their revenue, right? So their revenue has almost doubled since 2010 for Target, and it's continuing to increase. So I think I look at numbers, and so when something has good numbers like this, it's probably time to buy it, personally. I'm not telling you to buy it. I have no idea what you should do. Today, the bigger story is Nvidia earnings for sure, right? So today, the bigger story is Nvidia earnings. We'll see what we get for it. We'll see what we get. But yeah, the big story today is definitely Nvidia earnings. Let me always remember, guys, I am not an investment professional. I am not liable if you lose money. You always got to do your own assessment. Trade responsibly, guys. Not an investment professional. We're not liable if you lose money. Yeah, so cool. They credited the money already, which is nice. I'm ready to go. So remember, understand CFTC 4.41. I do trade off stream. You're not going to see all my trades. Hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. Do not copy me. I do trade off stream. You're not going to see what I do all the time. Not an investment professional. Top 3 worst ever. I love you all. But yeah. All right. So again, mortgage rates 6.9%. So the interest rates are going, or the mortgage interest rates are going up, not down. Nvidia earnings are in. Nvidia earnings are going to drop after 4 p.m. Eastern time, so that would be 3 o'clock my time. It's almost 7 o'clock right now. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. So Nvidia earnings are going to be in about 8 hours. Yeah, Walmart's up too much to really buy. Target, this gives me a nice 20% dip on earnings. Now, their earnings were not good. Don't get it twisted. Their earnings weren't good. Their guidance was low. They missed EPS. They missed revenue. But for a PE ratio, I think it's okay. I think the PE ratio and the dividend makes it justifiable, right? So for just this position right now on Target, I am gonna own, let me see. And if it goes in my favor short term, it pays $1.12 per share quarterly dividend. So if I buy 2.87%. So if I buy roughly $3,200 worth of Target, what am I gonna make percentage wise? I think I'm gonna make annually. Is that right? No, that's wrong. I overtook the decimal place. Yeah. Or no, so I guess that's right. Yeah, so 2.87%. So yeah, and so they're just quarterly. They're gonna pay me about $100 a year. I could buy more, I think, but yeah, when you add that to what you also might potentially make investing in, I think it makes sense. We might add more to it too, but for now I'm just gonna sit there. Thoughts on long-term bonds in the auction today? It might influence stuff. Yeah, I'm not telling anybody to buy anything, Bow, and you're certainly liable if you lose money. I'm not telling anybody to buy anything, because you know how it goes. But like what happens is like people manage their trades poorly and then blame me, right? So like an example would be if you buy Target now, it might go down more, right? Like it certainly could. And if you get emotional and sell when it goes down and then it ends up bouncing back, you know, you're gonna mismanage the trade and get out wrong. And so you just want to understand, like, I'm buying this for long term. I'm buying this to sit on for years and earn dividends from, and hopefully earn a percentage increase on the year from. So regardless of what it does short term, you know, I'll either add more to it, I'll just leave it alone. Most likely I can't say for certain what I'm gonna do. I might change my mind, but yeah, as always. $10 a.m. here. What's up, R? Yeah, what are bond yields at? So with interest rates going up, I'm assuming bond yields are going up right now too, huh? 30-year mortgage rates. Bond yields are currently at 4.379%. You know, I drink my organic coffee and it's good and all, but like community coffee is just freaking good, dude. Alright, it's the calm before the storm. Vote on the poll, guys. 70% are bullish. 70% are bullish. I don't think we have any 8:30 news today. The big story of the day, honestly, is yeah, the big story of the day is Nvidia earnings. That's going to be the shock to the market right now, is Nvidia earnings. And again, speaking of Nvidia is almost up to 148, so Nvidia does have a chance to break lifetime highs today. So lifetime highs on Nvidia are right at 150, almost exactly at 150. And so Nvidia does have a chance to break lifetime highs today, guys. We'll see if it does. It's getting close, though. It's getting close. When things go wrong, people point fingers. When things go right, people want the credit. Yeah, it's why I always tell people, just make your own assessment. Figure it out yourself. I have no freaking idea. A lot of the time what happens is I'll buy stuff long-term with the idea of just sitting on it. And then somebody else will buy it and then it goes down and then they get emotional and then they sell it and then they cry about it. But like in the end, I'm buying stuff long-term. I'm just sitting on stuff long-term. You know, I'll probably buy up a handful of other positions too. Yeah, the only way I would sell Target, to be honest, right now is if we had like big volatility from stuff today. Big volatility. Not a big story today is that I just fixed target whenever I trade under 128 again. Well, maybe. I don't know, man. It might. The finger just points in the other direction if they're right. Yeah, I mean... Yeah. I don't really... I try to just avoid giving out too many big stock picks. I really do. It's just unnecessary. All right, guys, the NASDAQ up to 20.82s, 20.82s. I just got to make sure they switch this out. Again, so we had a crypto update this morning. Bitcoin is just shy of 94,000 on Bitcoin today. Craziness. And honestly, Nvidia earnings might be the drive to get this. Nvidia very close, hit all-time highs. 95,000 futures. So we're almost 94,000. And so that's the big story of the day. Again, we did have some other stuff. Reuters poll is 94.106 says the Fed is to cut the Fed funds rate by 25 basis points in December to 4.25 to 4.5. So most likely that the Fed is going to cut. Let me see the probabilities here on the Fed Watch tool. So the Fed Watch tool percentages here are showing 60 to 40, roughly still. 40% chance that we're going to cut rates 25 basis points. About a 40% chance that we're not going to cut rates at all. And we're just going to pause rates again. I don't know if that's what we're going to get, but that's what we're showing so far right now. What do you guys think? Again, today's day is the biggest day in markets, honestly. Nvidia earnings, a massive, massive day. How about old Walmart? Walmart's up too much for me. The news is at 4 or 5 p.m. So Walmart's up a little bit too much for me. Walmart's good. I think Walmart's stable as well. But look at Walmart on the year. That's a little bit too extended for me to buy that thing up, man. It's up so much already. Honestly, you know, people make fun of Bitcoin traders and crypto traders, but Bitcoin and crypto are some of, like, look at this daily chart. Bitcoin is one of the most obvious trends. Do you guys remember here when we were talking about this trend? Obvious trends in markets is, like, look at that. As soon as the Bitcoin ETFs picked up, one of the most obvious trends in markets, right? And then the other crazy thing is that when it actually broke the trend, it broke on the upside, it held, you know? So, like, this is something that you don't really see that well in stocks. You don't see stocks or anything really in a lot of markets follow trends that are this nice. It even held that support level and bounced back up. And so Bitcoin has been in one of the most obvious trends all year, and it finally broke over it, and now it's testing all-time highs and breaking all-time highs, which it did again or late last yesterday afternoon. It broke all-time highs, and it's really close to it now again as well for Bitcoin. So good for it, man. Looking at our Nvidia poll again, the big Super Bowl of the stock market is today. It's expected at 69% bull, 31% bear. 69% bull, 31% bear. What about Meta? What about it? Meta's at 561s right now, 561s. Yeah, this is the big story of the day, man. I'm excited. We had a couple news. So again, Neo stock is down. We should switch our Bitcoin to ETH and double our money. I don't know if it's going to do that, though. You know, we'll see. It's going higher. Yeah. I kind of see Meta testing 500 again eventually. Well, Meta's very strong, and Meta has their Llama AI series. So, but Meta's also up like huge, ridiculous amounts. You know, so like Meta, a lot of these tech stocks during this big AI run, like here's in the last 2 years have gone up obscene amounts, right? Like here's October. October started out at $88 a share about 2 years ago. Microsoft, we see a very similar trend, 213s. Years ago, it's now at 4s. So very big increase there. Amazon, less of an increase, but still up, or actually more of an increase. Amazon has gone from $100 to over $210 at one point this year. So up over 100% this year. Google doing really well as well, from 90s to 180s. So basically 100%. Apple gone from, you know, lows of 120s all the way to 230s here. So pretty crazy movements as well. So tech in general has gone up so much. Yeah. Microsoft 425 today. I don't know, man. Neo is down to 40%. Looking at our votes, we got over 300 votes already. Are you bullish or bearish on Nvidia earnings? 70% are bullish, 30% are bearish here. So, interesting for sure. Raging parabolic bull run now. Hey, we'll see. We are slightly down, but it's about EPS. Yeah, the Blackwell chips are gonna be huge. Sorry guys, that's me. Sorry, I'm talking with support. Yeah, so again, we got 30 minutes left until 8:30. We don't really have any data. We had mortgage rates come in higher than expected. So last time the 30-year mortgage rate showed up at 6.86%, under 7%. Today it showed up at 6.9%, so it bumped up a little bit mortgage rate wise. And again, the big story of the day is Nvidia earnings. Massive story, massive report. Is my mic cutting out? A sound from ancient times. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Again, it's a huge story. It's a huge day. I'm ready for it, to be honest. All right, so we're going to start day trading a little bit today as well here, chat. So we are going to day trade some this morning. Ready to sell my Nvidia call options. Hey, good luck, bro. You make some money. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. They have this terrible... All right, I'm ready to sell my Nvidia call. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, guys. Honestly, I gotta turn off the sound here. Loud and like, I will turn it back on. Yeah, it's bad for the ears for sure. Super micro. Up. I know they finally got an auditor. Super micro semiconductors at 28, 2750s, 28s. Very cool. All right, we are good to go. I muted the music. Oh wait, I'm looking at my... Is my sound clear? Can y'all hear me? People are comparing Target to Kmart on StockTwits. Yeah, I mean, you gotta understand, Target is gonna have people like really hyper biased against it, right? So that's normal to expect, right? What I'm looking at is I'm looking at EPS, I'm looking at revenue, I'm looking at PE ratio. And Target for the price, you know, it's pretty cheap right now, at least after this dip. I'm not telling you to buy it. I have no idea what you should do. I always like Kmart. I grew up in the 90s, and so I always miss Kmart's gaming section. Kmart had a great gaming section. So yeah, TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx did report earnings. So they did report earnings. So TJ Maxx posted earnings. I'll put those up in the comments section here. All right, chat. Australia, AI is the future and it will exponentially increase. Thoughts on Lunar? Yeah, well, Kmart, there's only a couple left in the United States, isn't there? I didn't even think there was that many Kmarts available. We're going to get ready to day trade today, too. I'm assuming we're going to have choppiness today, right? So I'm guessing we're going to have choppiness, and we're going to try to day trade futures. Slightly green on our yeah, we are slightly green on our target position, though. Slightly green. And we will day trade this micro contracts first. We got this nice little trend, though. I can't help but bring attention to on the NASDAQ. Like, look at this trend here. So, like, let's talk about it. So, on the NASDAQ, really obvious trend up here. Really obvious trend. Let me do the parallel draw. I always forget to use the parallel drawing, but it actually helps maintain a little bit better. Like, better edges towards the trend line so I can, like, really, truly see it. Like, and I think that's, like, right around here. So... rejecting a little bit now. The question is, do we start to come back down or do we start to rip up? We're right in the middle of the range here for the NASDAQ. So right in the middle range. AI is the future. Yeah. Today, the big story is Nvidia earnings, guys. It's a massive release, honestly. It's huge. This is a massive report. Again, it's kind of like the Super Bowl of stocks. It really is. And again, my target trade's green. We're green. I'm curious what we're going to get here on the NASDAQ, though. So here's the NASDAQ. We're kind of pulling back middle range, tightening up a little bit. I won't mind like buying a dip if we get a dip to this 200 exponential. It's also like the low of that trend line. So if we pull all the way back there, I do not mind buying it. But I also think it's a little risky because I think we could break on the downside too. And so I just think I have to be a little bit more careful. And we'll see. We'll see if it holds. All right, so why is it massive and why does it matter for markets? It matters for markets because the whole stock market follows Nvidia, right? The entire stock market, everything follows Nvidia earnings. The whole market follows Nvidia to a T, really. So like over the past 2 years straight, like you can kind of see this reflected. Like here's Nvidia's chart on the top right here, you know, and then here's Nvidia's chart, and then here's the NASDAQ 100 chart. And you can kind of see a very similar trend, same thing. Trend here on the left, trend here on the right. And so one thing that you'll see long term is that the whole market has been following Nvidia earnings. So the whole market has been following Nvidia earnings. And again, I don't know if it's going to help or hurt. You know, we don't know if we're going to have good action or bad action there, but the whole market's been following Nvidia. All right, guys. So I'm going to do a poll, and I'm curious about this, right? So we already got the Nvidia poll. We got over 400 votes. 70% are bullish, 30% are bearish. I want to do a poll. I'm going to end this, and I'm curious what people really think. So just green screen. So would you prefer, do you prefer the floating head with the green screen, or would you rather just the green screen? You know, I use the green screen because it gets me around the charts, right? Like it makes it so that I don't block the charts. If I didn't have a green screen, I can show you what it would look like, right? So if I didn't have a green screen, it would look like this, and it's going to block it like a chunk of the charts at the very least. And so I do want to see what people see. So like if I didn't have a green screen, it would look like this, and I would block at least a chunk of the charts, right? The floating head, while it's funny and all, and that's great, I use it. There's an actual like utility reason I use it, is because I can actually go anywhere on the chart. I can use my hands to like weatherman it and show you guys exactly what I'm looking at, why I'm looking at it, stuff like that. And so there is a value to that, I think. But again, I'm going to do, there is a value to it. So I want to see. All right, so vote on that poll. Let me know. I'm trying to see what people really think here. Life as we know it depends on Nvidia. I like the sweet office you used to have. It looked fancy. Yeah, maybe that's it. Hey, again, I can always put the green screen down. It doesn't really matter too much to me. It's honestly easier for me not to do it. But I think in terms of like tutorials on the charts, it does kind of help, right? And here's Nvidia. Nvidia pulling back to the VWAP. Yeah, so far out of 30 votes, almost 80% of people prefer the floating head. You know, and again, if you don't like the floating head, I don't think it should matter too much, to be honest, right? Like it is, like I get not liking the comedic aspect of it. But yeah, vote on the poll. Let us know how you feel. One answer should have said head is good. Yeah. Floating head brings everybody luck. It does. That it does, sir. All right. Nvidia earnings day. I don't know what we're going to get. Honestly, Nvidia's already up a lot leading into the earnings report. The office is fancy, but the floating head is fun. Yeah. Yeah, so everybody vote. Let me know how you feel. So far, we're still at least 65% in favor of the floating head. I think your office makes you more relatable. Their August earnings did not impress. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because like just to show you guys the benefits of the floating head, right? Like if I want to show you guys this downtrend, right? Like here's a good example. I can go right here and this is the level I wanted to look at. So you see how we have the 200 exponential right here, right? This is the benefit of the floating head, is that I can do stuff like this. You see how we have the 200 exponential? We also have the bottom of that trend line, you know, and again, not just that, but if I float over here to Nvidia right here. So if I float over here to Nvidia right here is also at the very bottom of its trend line, and this is what the market follows. Nvidia right at the bottom of the trend line. Not only is Nvidia at the bottom of that trend line we've drawn, but it's also at the bottom or right above the 200 exponential, as well as the volume weighted average price. So it's by all these big major levels right here on the chart, and this is relevant, right? Like we can look at these major levels. Some traders are watching the volume weighted average price, this purple line. Other traders are watching this yellow area. We also have the previous closing price right underneath us here for Nvidia. And again, the whole market's watching Nvidia today. It's up a huge amount. It's up a huge amount. And again, we'll see if it holds. I think that's a big level. I'm also watching for a break. Like if Nvidia breaks underneath this level here, then we might have a trend change down. Look at the previous closing price though. That's kind of the big spot. The previous closing price right here, it's a level that almost all traders are watching for, because it's where the stock goes from red to green, green to red on the day technically. And so that previous closing price right there is important. You know, this level right here, this previous close, this light blue line, it's something else that you want to watch as well. And look at the trend. So again, if we zoom over here to this area, look at the trend hold. So the NASDAQ trend is holding very, very well, right? So the NASDAQ trend is holding very, very well. It's starting to tighten up though. So we do see a tightening of the trend, I think, right here. If we put up a 5-minute chart, it might be a little bit clear here for this trend, but let me zoom in. Yeah, if we put in a 5-minute chart, you can kind of see how like the trend is starting to clean up a little bit and getting a little bit thinner here. You can kind of see it was this big wide range right here, and now it's kind of getting a little bit tighter. A little bit tighter, if that makes sense. And again, this is the benefit of the floating head, is that I can go anywhere I want on the chart and show you exactly what I'm talking about. And that's a lot easier than having to like reference it somehow in my words, right? I can say, oh, you can look here, you can look here. With the floating head, I can literally show you guys exactly what I mean. You can kind of see it. It had a wider trend, and that trend is tightening here. And so that's something you want to watch for, specifically the NASDAQ. But yeah, Nvidia above it. We'll see, guys. And then we can go back in our corner after we're done. Well, we could use our mouse, sure. I also have my little drawing tools, but it's just about what most people prefer. And again, at this point, it looks like most people prefer the floating head, which I think that makes sense. If it was me, I would prefer the floating head because it makes tutorials easier, but it really is whatever you guys want. You know, and again, I'll try to listen to whatever you guys say. It just depends. Like if I see a bunch of votes coming in at one time influencing for no floating head, that seems like manipulated. That's the only reason I might ignore it. But as long as it looks legitimate, I will try to go with what you guys say. Yeah, I can weatherman it, basically. Hey guys. Yeah, it's in the dryer. Yeah.
Oh wait, can you say bye now?
Well, we gotta wait for your mom.
Yeah, just gonna leave right now.
Okay, well we gotta wait for your mom.
Remember what my hair looks like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Why don't you just curl it though?
It takes so long. Yeah, this is heat. So.
Yeah. I guess. We want to control the floating head. I don't know if you guys are not responsible enough to do that. Yeah. Weatherman. Yeah. Let the head float and be free, right? I could do full body weatherman, but it would still block out a large chunk of what I'm looking at, you know. And it really is like whatever people prefer. Like looking at it, most people are preferring the floating head for now. And again, it's all good. Like it doesn't matter. To be honest, it's easier to not do the floating head. Wow. So my target position, guys, is up a significant amount right now. Wow. What happened? So yeah, my target position is up a lot. Good. So my target position currently. Yeah, we're up almost 1 to 2% already on this position. I'm gonna leave it though. I'm not touching it. I'm gonna leave my target position here. Financial tip of the day: don't trade Bitcoin if you want to trade the Nasdaq. The floating head has spoken. Yeah. Yeah, so again, you see a 5-minute chart. We're tightening up a little bit. I'm just wondering what kind of stuff we're gonna be. Does it matter to me where your head is? Right, exactly. I don't think it should matter to most people. Yeah, I don't think it should matter to most people, you know. I'm not responsible enough for sure. Hey guys. I bought 2 sweaters. My son just put one on. Yeah. Here, hold on. Jack's gotta stop floating around. Alright. That's cool though, buddy. Alright, guys. Alright. Floating head Jack over here. Yeah. Alright, bro. Yep, we see you over there doing your TikTok dances. Alright, buddy. Hey. I love you, dude. Have a good day, bud. Alright. 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 Alright, I love you.
Love you.
Have a good day. Love you guys. Y'all have a good one. Alright, guys. My son. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my son Jack. He's having fun over here with the floating head of truth. How do you see Nvidia affecting the Nasdaq? I see Nvidia affecting the Nasdaq heavily. Floating head is a no-brainer. Yeah, I mean, I just think it's probably helpful to narrate and show stuff. As long as Jim Cramer doesn't turn into a floating head, we should all be okay. Yeah, Jim Cramer was bearish on floating heads. All right, chat. So we got over 500 people here watching live. Thanks so much. Y'all hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Again, Nvidia earnings, the biggest, I'm not going to say it's the biggest stock market event of the century, but it's big. It's something you want to pay attention to. Again, my target trade, killing it right now. Killing it. I don't even want to take profit. I'm just going to sit in this. My target trade, look at target right now. All the way back up to almost 130. My average price is 127. So we're up $3 a share. Yeah, I'll take it. You know, we're up like 2.5%. You know, right around 2 to 2.5% right now. Or maybe not quite that much. No, we're up like 1.5%, maybe 2%. I'll take it though. Green is good, Chad. Green is good. Not bad for a freaking 30-minute position in target. And again, like I guess I could. I'm gonna take just a piece of this off, just because I can. Actually, no. I'm just gonna sit in it. Actually, I'm not gonna take any money off of it. I'm just gonna wait. Hopefully a better reaction versus the last report in August. Yeah. So the last Nvidia earnings report. What did they do for earnings last time? All right, so let's talk about what to pay attention to in today's Nvidia earnings report. So we want to look at revenue and earnings growth. So analysts are anticipating big growth with projections of an 84% year-over-year increase in revenue to 33.29 billion is what they're showing. Is this correct? AI, you better treat me good. Yeah, so 32. I'm showing 33 billion, but and net income expected to rise between 17.47 or 70 cents a share. Data center revenue is crucial driven by demand for AI infrastructure. In the previous quarter, data center revenue reached 26.3 billion, and forecasts suggest it could hit 29.28 billion this quarter. So I'm going to take a small position here. Actually, no, I'm going to wait. It's a little bit too obvious for Nvidia here. It's a little. All right, we're going to take a small position. I'll take the risk. I think there's a chance this could break down and start really downtrending negatively here. And so we're going to take 2 micro contracts and let this work. So monitoring gross margins is big. Essentially, as Nvidia ramps up production of its new Blackwell chip, any changes here could impact profitability. We also want to see, oh, wow. Wow, look at target right now, guys. Okay, I got to take something off here. I'm going to go ahead and take half off and just lock it in. Looks like everybody and their grandmother's taking profit with me here. All right, so we just got out of half of the position, a little bit less than half. We got out of 45%, just to protect the trade, right? Like very small position. And so just to protect the trade, we got out of a piece of it. And we're going to let the last remaining shares work. And this is a good thing. We might actually add back to it if it pulls back enough. So if it dips enough, we might actually add our, you know, again, I went from wanting a long-term investment to taking profit very quickly just because it protects the trade. And these are my favorite swing trades to get involved with, right? They really are. These are my favorite swing trades to get involved with. You get involved with it here. And again, I'm going to have to cut this now, unfortunately. I was worried about this happening. Actually, I'm going to let it test the 200 exponential. But I was worried about this happening. Again, the reason I'm letting it test here is because Nvidia is also hitting the 200 EMA and the VWAP. All right, so now that we got ourselves a little bit better position, I'm going to unlock. I'm going to take half of this off and let the rest just kind of work and be a little bit more loose with the rest of it. I know it's probably not what we want to see on this trade, but I think it makes sense. Also, guys, pay attention to Nvidia for the Blackwell chip update. You know, there was some news about some of the infrastructure that the Blackwell chips sit on overheating. And so it is something that you want to watch. And yeah, join our Discord, guys. Our Discord's kind of been growing a little bit here. So our Discord has been growing some, chat. And so if you have not checked out our Discord, I'll put the link up. Again, completely free. I'm going to post this link. Completely free, doesn't cost a penny. There's the link. Check it out. Yes, Jonathan, you do. Just check out the site, Jonathan. There's a lot more information on the site. Shouldn't Nvidia go up with the AI? What the AI? Yeah, well, it depends on how much I'm up, Sam, short term. So Sam says, John, I'm going to hold this long term. And I know I do that, but it has to do with, like, I've talked about the swing strategy many times before. I really have. So I've talked about this strategy many times before. And what I talk about is that when you have a blue chip healthy company that overreacts to earnings, like dropping 20%, you know, in a couple minutes from their earnings report, I'm usually there to buy it up, right? The real convincing thing for me for Target is the PE ratio. This thing has a PE ratio right now of like 18. That's the best PE ratio for a blue chip stock I've seen all year. You know, one of the best PE ratios. I'm going to have to unload this position here. We're just going to get out and take a $30 loss there. But again, a PE ratio of 18 is tiny, right? That's a very low PE ratio. And again, for a company like Target, which has good EPS, good revenue, the holiday seasons are coming up. It makes a lot of money overall. I think it just makes sense to watch it, right? And I think it's one of my favorite stocks to invest in, especially if it makes big pullbacks. I like to invest in stocks that a lot of people count out. Like I buy Disney every time Disney drops down to like $80, $90 a share. And sure enough, everybody makes fun of me for it. They talk smack about it, and then they're silent. And when Disney ends up inevitably rebounding back up to $120, $130 a share. And so I think, like, you can go with the pack in investing in swing trading and trading in general. And a lot of the time the pack is going to criticize stocks like Target. But like, I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm looking at EPS, I'm looking at revenue, and I'm looking at my own personal experiences with this brand, which are, every time I go there, they're packed. They're full of people, hard to find parking, obviously doing okay. And I think long-term, this pullback is insignificant, and, you know, it just gives me an opportunity to buy in cheap. Yeah, so just don't fall for Discord scams here, guys. A lot of scammers in Discord. You just got to be careful. A lot of scammers. My best trading advice is don't use your rent money. Yeah, for sure. Don't you like Target at the long term for these levels? Sure. Again, I might add it back, in all honesty. Like, I really might. I just, to be honest, I liquidated this account. And was trading on a different account that is more of like a long-term account. And I recently deposited, you know, another like 20, 30,000 in this account. And so I have to wait for the funds to settle, which they've already credited me the funds, but I have to wait for the end of close today for it to settle. So basically I'm not going to be able to actively trade this back and forth until tomorrow. What about Nike? Nike's tough, man, and it's back and forth a lot. I liked Nike when it dipped down to $70 earlier in the year, right? So Nike dipped down to $70 earlier in the year. But as of now, it's kind of going back and forth. I don't think it's a certainty by any means. And again, look at Nvidia, guys. So when we zoom over here to Nvidia, like, look at Nvidia right here. So Nvidia, remember, we talked about this 200 exponential volume weighted average price level. And I'm going to show you guys what I mean. So look at this level right here. You see the purple and yellow lines convergence? 200 exponential volume weighted average price, right around the same spot. When it's right around the same spot, it can just be powerful. Like, look at this. So we're going to, like, look at exactly where it bounces off of. Literally down to a T. Look at that bounce. Literally down to a T. Let me get out the way here, because at this point I'm blocking. But look at that bounce, literally right off of the 200 exponential volume weighted average price spot. And so it's a relevant level. Like we completely botched our day trade over there, but that doesn't matter because we're getting predictable price action movement. Look at Nvidia, and again, the whole market's following Nvidia. So if Nvidia bounces, the Nasdaq over here is going to bounce too, and you can kind of see that happening as well. So we're going to just wait and see if we get some good action today. Again, it's Nvidia earnings. We got a lot of stuff to go over this morning. So yeah. Yeah, I'm watching the Nasdaq. I'm watching Nvidia. I'm watching Target this morning. All right, so we're going to end this poll. We got, you know, at least 60-40, but 65-35 shooting, wanting the floating head. So we're going to keep that poll. We're going to go back to Nvidia now. Does Nvidia beat or miss their earnings today? Vote on that poll. Let me know how you feel, guys. Nvidia is going to fall. So 87% of people think they're going to beat. Yeah, we got to watch Nvidia pretty closely now, too. Nvidia, at the same time, though, Chad, so, like, we can look at the choppy nature of Nvidia right now. So Nvidia, it's over this level. But right now, it's very neutral, very sideways. And this is not unexpected, considering that they have earnings today. It's not unexpected, right? It's not a shock. Now, at this point, we have choppiness. And so I'm wondering if the whole market's going to be choppy now. You can kind of see this choppy kind of like wedge pattern right here. So now I'm wondering if we're going to get choppiness moving forward. Beat slightly, but earnings taking. Yeah, the better question is, does Nvidia gap up or down off the report? Yeah, my new phone keeps telling me that the faces are recognized. Oh, guidance is what I want to see. Yeah, well, we all want to see good guidance. I'm betting it goes up until it goes down 50%. They will beat, but will it be enough like last earnings to raise stock prices? That's the question. I think they'll beat their earnings, maybe even neutral, but I feel fear in the air. Maybe. So far, 81% think they're going to beat, 19% think they're going to miss here. Choppy most of the day without a break or breakdown. Yeah, it's a big day. Honestly, it's a big day. And look, there's the breakdown that we see in the Nasdaq here. This is what I was worried about with that day trade, was that we might get a breakdown, like a flush down here. Also, guys, give me a follow on X at Beginner Trades, at BeginnerTrades, at BEGINNERTRADES, at Beginner Trades. Give your boy a follow here. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. There it is right there. All right, so we're starting to flush down. Climate protesters shutting down the roads. Are you for or against that, guys? Let me know in chat. Nvidia, again, still sideways. Doctors say don't sit on the toilet for more than 10 minutes. Apparently it's bad. I'm in trouble, you know. Yeah, this is bad. Not good. So a lot of people talking about MicroStrategy. Here's MicroStrategy. Now the problem, people are asking why MicroStrategy is up so much. MicroStrategy is up so much because Bitcoin is breaking lifetime highs. So Bitcoin just broke lifetime highs again, got up to $94,000+. Like, look at this. Bitcoin got up to $94.3 thousand just now. So new Bitcoin highs, 94.4K. Almost 95,000 for Bitcoin. I think 100K is inevitable. No? Like, y'all don't think we're gonna hit 100K? All right, so we got a break of structure here. So we do have a break of structure. Bitcoin's up $2,000 a coin today. That's a good question, is when do we hit 100K? It's all about guidance on Supermicro semiconductor relationship, future growth, maintaining trajectory, and Blackwell chips. 100%, yeah, I agree. $100K would be wild. I think it's getting close, though. I think it's going to happen this year, almost certainly. MicroStrategy is up because of that. So MicroStrategy is up because of Bitcoin getting close to 100K. You should have a poll if the blue labeling should stay or not. I don't think it matters that much, you know. If y'all don't like the blue labeling, give me some options. I'll look at it. The blue and yellow just makes the wording stick out, which is what I want the most, right? Like, I just want it to stick out so people can actually see what it's saying. 100 before Christmas, yeah, I think that's pretty certain. I mean, it's not certain. Nobody freaking knows. It's a security, right? It's a tradable security. Nobody freaking knows, but I think it's pretty close, right? I think it's pretty close. Yeah, I think the blue and yellow looks good, to be honest. I think, like, I could also put a little bit of, you know, I could frame the other stuff above it in something as well if you guys really wanted me to. But yeah. Like, I could put a little bit here. And like maybe like put this here so it looks a little bit better. Add some background color to it. No, is that better? So you can actually see that a little bit more as well. Video selling alien technology. 100K then rug pull, maybe. Sometimes, like in markets, sometimes lifetime highs or big milestone levels are kind of like magnets, where we'll push up, we'll get to these big high like milestone levels. In Bitcoin's case, 100K. We'll tap it and then we'll dump down afterwards, right? Like, that's very common. It's kind of a buy the rumor, sell the news event. We see that a lot in markets. So earnings drop after 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Victor. We're gonna live stream the whole thing. And so if you want to see Nvidia earnings later, complete earnings call, earnings live, all that good stuff, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll be live later on today. Do you think Nvidia will move a stock like... I've never heard of it, no. I don't know, Joshua. I'm not sure about that company. It depends on what stock that is and what it's based around, what the asset is of the company, and what the sector is. If it's tech, maybe. Yeah, it's a long work day for me for sure. But that's okay. It's one of my favorite days. All right, so we're still getting a breakdown. Look at Nvidia here as well. So we do have this downward trend, and I think we could see something like this. Bitcoin getting close to lifetime highs. I think we could see something like this where we have this trend, we change the structure, and then we move down, and then maybe we move back up. That's possible, but again, it's certainly not certain, pun intended, I guess. Let's see if we get some better action today. Again, y'all join our Discord if you haven't already. Completely free, doesn't cost a penny. Will you stream from now until the Nvidia call? No, I'm going to start the Nvidia call later on today. TV Minds? I'm not sure what you mean. Quantum Computing Company, IONQ, is partnering with Nvidia. I think quantum computing is the future, and I think it'll only get better for it as well as we grow our technology infrastructure. So yeah, I think that's what Target missed, EPS missed revenue, but it also dropped 20% to justify it. And so yes, while we did drop significantly, while we did miss EPS, miss revenue, I still think it doesn't matter. I think it's down enough for me to buy it. I've already taken half off, right? So we've already locked in a ton of profit on Target. Regardless of what it does now, we're already up a pretty big percentage already. We're already up at least a couple percent, and we can just kind of sit on it. %76% of people think Nvidia is going to beat their earnings today. Squatty potty. Oh, I haven't seen it, Dark. Yeah, I think the biggest thing people get wrong about stocks, specifically stocks, is that they get too emotional about positions. They just do. They get too emotional. They base a lot of stuff around like their political affiliations and like all this different stuff, right? And it makes them blind to certain moves in the market, right? When Target dropped to $100 a share earlier this year, right? Back in October, not this year, in October of last year, Target dropped to $100 a share. I bought it up. I talked to a lot of people about why I was buying it, and so many people made fun of me. So many people talked smacked about it. So many people like had all these insults for me and told me it was going to crash and it was going to be the end of it and blah, 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 right? Again, people are too blind. And then Target ends up bouncing back almost 100% to $180 a share. I cut it somewhere in between there. I don't remember where I got out of it. And again, same thing with like Disney, same freaking thing. Disney, same thing. It drops down to $75, $80, $85 a share. Everybody talks about how it's the end of the world. I buy it up. Disney bounces back to 120s, 130s, right? And then it's just kind of silence. And so it really is something that you have to condition yourself to kind of ignore that type of stuff and just trade off for your own intuition. If your intuition's done you well historically with a large sample size, then just base your own intuition. You can't listen too much to what people say. Now, if they bring up actual facts behind like bad news and stuff like that, that's one thing. But most of the time, it's just like bias. It's just like political stuff. And again, I'm not even against anybody there. I'm not even saying I disagree or agree. I'm pretty neutral, but I'm just looking at value. If I can find value, like that's specifically what I'm looking at. And I think if Target drops 20% in 10 minutes, you know, there might be some value there long term, at least. It's got a PE ratio of under 20. It pays a good divvy as well. So like, I'm just looking at value, and I think there's some value there. Another thing I love buying is T-bill, TBIL, the symbol TBIL. Now, TBIL will pay you roughly 5% interest. It'll pay you roughly 5% interest, annualized 5%. And it'll pay it to you in monthly dividend payments, right? And so earlier this year, I had about $70,000 in just TBIL, the symbol TBIL. So if we put TBIL, look at MicroStrategy getting up there. So just the symbol TBIL, MicroStrategy, flying. Where's Bitcoin? I want to see Bitcoin. Bitcoin just broke highs again. Got up to 94. Got up to 94.6 thousand, roughly 94.5 thousand, 94.6 thousand, continuing to break highs. But yeah, with T-bill, an example of this is I bought $70,000 worth of this T-bill ETF. They pay me 5% annualized. So They pay me about $3,500 a year, but it was annualized. So they paid me about $300 a month, and they deposited straight into my brokerage account. Easy, you know, easy $300 a month. And so if you have cash that you're just letting sit, and this is why people who sit on cash and don't do anything with it, I'm not gonna say you're dumb, but it's not smart. Not in my opinion. And again, maybe we do some stuff, but again, it's just as liquid as like a certified deposit, like a CD. It's just as liquid as a treasury bill, or more liquid than a treasury bill. I can unload this immediately and sell it immediately and make money back. So there's some value to a lot of this stuff. You just got to figure out what to do with your money while you're letting it sit. Again, here's Bitcoin futures. I'm going to put that up at the bottom. Bitcoin up to 95.2s. Nvidia earnings are going to be later on today. If I make a little well, I think cash is dumb too. To sit on cash is silly as well, right? If you're going to sit on something tangible and physical, buy like actual gold or actual silver or platinum or something like that, right? Like cash. The only people that I really see using cash in a big heavy amount are like rappers, you know? Like rappers are all about cash, but usually people with actual like lots of money keep it in banks, and they do too. It's kind of like a way to flex, I guess. But you know, in 10 years, cash is going to be obsolete. Nobody uses cash already, and so in 10 years, it's going to be even less valuable. It's going to be even less used. I think they'll get rid of all like. I think with inflation going up, I think within 10 years they're going to get rid of like coins as well, like silver, like nickels, dimes, pennies. I don't think we're ever going to see those anymore. Well, yeah, for sure. But I think they use crypto a lot too, Keegan. Yeah, T-Bill, I mean, yeah, so it's not quite 5%, Blaze, but yeah, it's something like that. What would you pay for Target? It's dropped big time. I mean, I already bought Target when it dropped. My average price on Target right now is right around $27 a share. Or $127 a share. So I already bought it when it dropped it. I've already taken profit when it bounced back up to like 132s. So now we're sitting on a position that we've taken a large chunk of it off. It's at 130s now. So we're up almost $3 a share. So we're up like 2 point something percent already. We've already taken profit off of it. And now we're just sitting on the rest. Yeah, and I might add back to it if it falls more, but again, I have to wait until my deposit credits. Well, it ain't yours, mine's. So it ain't yours, you know. All right, guys, so we are going to be day trading live today at the opening bell. Also, guys, if you haven't already, check out TopStep. TopStep funds traders and futures. They give you a demo. They test your skill with it. If you pass the test with the demo, they fund you with a regular account between 50K up to 150K with a 90% split, and they pay out hundreds of millions of dollars to their traders. If you want to learn to day trade, do not risk your own money. Do not fund your own account, is a better way to put it. It makes absolutely no sense to. Almost all day traders lose. If you deposit 20K, 30K into an account, you're almost certain to lose it. It just makes no sense. TopStep is a perfect middle ground where they give you a demo. It's $49 a month. If you pass the test by making 3K without losing 2K in profit, following their rules and conditions, they fund you 50K with a 90% split. And again, since 2020, they've paid out $125 million. They've been around for over 12 years. They're the most legit one in the world. And again, the basic one, they're going to give you a 50K demo account. It's only $49 a month. And so if you lose, you're only out $49 a month. If you pass it, you get a 50K funded account with a 90% split, which is similar to funding your own account. And in the futures market, it's where most pro day traders day trade. There's no PDT rule. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currencies, patterns and indexes are super similar to stock patterns and blue chips. Just there's no PDT restrictions. It's one of the reasons most pro day traders go there. And again, most day traders lose. And so instead of depositing thousands of dollars trying to look cool in markets, instead, try this out. They're an affiliate or sponsor of mine, though. I'm biased because I get paid by them. But honestly, just a good way to learn how to day trade with more limited risk. Again, I'm not an investment professional, and I'm certainly biased. in Top Step's favor. But to be honest, genuinely a good option, and you can kind of see those numbers there. Genuinely a good option for a lot of traders because it's going to give them like a middle ground of trading. It's going to teach them how to trade under pressure. They're still risking something, but not the big risk that you take depositing thousands and thousands of dollars into an account. And I think that makes perfect sense. Also, remember, guys, I am not an investment professional. Remember, I am not liable if you lose. Always make your own assessment. Understand CFDC 4.41, hypothetical or simulated performance, have limitations, guys. Always do your own DD. Trade responsibly. I do trade off stream. You're not going to see all my trades. I'm not even claiming to be a good trader. You better not be copying me because I'm not top 3 worst trader of all time ever in the world. All right, now the top 3 plugs of all time is done. I'm thinking about buying this dip right now, chat. What do you guys think? I'll try to buy 1 contract here. We'll maybe add to 3, and we're going to look to buy this dip. We've already broken down a decent amount. If we flush down some more, I'll buy it and ride it maybe back. We'll add a piece there. We'll maybe get into 4 contracts. Profit target is this 200 exponential up here. Our risk level is going to be right around this level here, right? So right around 785, 783, and it's about a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio. And we will take profit pretty quickly too if we continue pushing up. All right, we're going to lock in just half of that to protect the trade. And we might add it back if we end up dipping down. No, it's kind of a scalp, Tom. Again, we're trading kind of small. We tend to do better after the opening bell. And so when you see a small trade, when you see me trade like this, I'm usually trading kind of small. I will add to this too. I'm going to add to it right down here. When you see me trading like this, it's small. I tend to do worse before the opening bell and better after the opening bell. And so I'm trading small here. I'll actually add a little bit more to this, take 3 contracts. I like this big up wick. A lot of the time we're at least going to fill a piece of this. And if not, it's all good. It's still 3 contract position. It's pretty small. Oof. Not a good drop. But that's all right. We already took some profit off here, so we're kind of flat right now. I just don't want to get stuck in like a big breakdown. And we really do tend to do better after the open. Before the open, especially on Nvidia earnings day, when a lot of stuff's super neutral range, super sideways, it's just not the easiest time to trade. Yeah, so we're breaking down here. We got to just cut it. Oh, wait, do we actually still hold a piece? Okay, so we only got out of 2 contracts. I'll get out the rest there. We made a little bit back, but yeah, just not what we wanted. We're starting to come right back down. I think we'll probably be sideways range today, but big range. I'm going to guess we're going to be big range. And what I mean by that is we might look something like this. Most of the day we might go up big and then down big and then kind of like sideways neutral range. With Nvidia earnings, we pushed up a lot yesterday. So there's also a chance that we ended up coming back down too. And so we just got to be patient and wait. But there is a chance we come back down just based off of how much Nvidia pushed up yesterday. Nvidia is up to 147.50s. So Nvidia is up a lot. Last day, it hit lows of 136s on the 18th. So 2 days ago. And it has since rebounded all the way back up to 148. And so there might be some extension play in there as well. So we'll have to wait and see. TraderView. Yeah, I haven't used TraderView in years. It's been a long time since I actually honestly have used TraderView. It's been years. Yeah, we made money yesterday, I think, in this account. So I mean, we tend to do better after the opening bell. All right, look at Nvidia start to turn. So Nvidia now coming down here. GameStop, man. What happened to GameStop? I know GameStop was making like a crazy parabolic run. Not a parabolic, I'm sorry. Parabolic is an exaggeration. But GameStop up to almost $30 a share. So it's making an optimistic run, I should say. And yesterday it did really, really well. It's at the 2740s today. So GameStop up to 2740s right now, 2740s. We'll see if it holds. All right, guys, we got how long left? It's the calm before the storm for GameStop earnings today. GameStop reports after 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Institutional ownership on GameStop has been benefiting it. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. All right, so we got this flush breakdown. We got a break of structure, this flush breakdown here. I'm not going to trade against the trend anymore. I think when I'm approaching these, my strategy is to look for a structure. Here's a structure. Once we get a break of structure, in this instance, like here, there's two ways you could approach it. You could either trade in the way it breaks, which is one way to potentially attack a new trend, or you can wait and get like a cup and handle or a reverse cup and handle pattern. What I mean by that is like if it breaks down here and then immediately shoots back up and holds, then we got a little bit more likelihood that we're going to kind of go back business as usual there. But it's not, I would say there's a lot of variance in the outcome. Yeah, coin's pumping because of Bitcoin breaking lifetime highs again and again this morning. Shooting up. The stock market makes millionaires out of billionaires. Laugh out loud. Well, I mean, it depends on which way you look at it. Like, looking at the actual statistics behind it, right? Long-term investors, 10 to 11% a year on average, right? And this is incredibly consistent over 100 years of data, about 10 to 11% a year on average, just to show you the math behind that, right? The stock market turns thousandaires into millionaires. 100% it does. You just got to trade it the right way. If you're smart, the biggest statistical edge you'll ever get is long-term investing. And this is something that I never shut up about, because it's important that people understand this edge, because a lot of people try to short the healthiest companies in the world, and that's dumb. They try to pick the tops of index funds, and that's dumb, right? It's the lowest edge strategy you could ever do, but everybody wants to be Michael Burry, contrarian, big short, next big market crash predictor, and they almost never are, right? You can look at all the big YouTubers that have tried to predict a stock market crash over the last 5 years and seen that they've all been wildly wrong, and a lot of the time they end up lashing out at me for it. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about, even though I've been absolutely right about the stock market direction over the past 5 years, and anybody that's wanted to pay attention to the live stream should recognize that, right? You guys know, 2-3 years ago when everybody was calling a market crash, I was sitting here telling you the market didn't have to crash and that it was probably going to go up, and that crashes are over predicted is what I used to always say. But anyways, just to show you the math behind it, right? If you've got, let's say you got 300K 300,000, right? And let's say you invest into the stock market over a 25-year period. We'll do it a quarter century, like a retirement account or something like that, right? Over a 25-year period, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So after 25 years, that 300,000 is going to turn into about $3.25 million. $3.25 million. This is the biggest statistical edge that you'll ever get in finance, in anything, ever, right? It's the best probabilities that you're going to make money. It's the easiest way to make long-term, like, statistical, gains in markets. It's the easiest way to make wealth in markets and to genuinely build generational wealth, right? The reason most people aren't able to do this, and you can look at me and Target earlier as an example of somebody that does this. The reason most people are not able to do this is because in order to get these type of returns, you have to invest in index funds or like the healthiest blue chips in the world and actually be good at hand picking stocks, which most people aren't. And you got to never touch it. You got to leave it alone, never freaking touch it, sit on it indefinitely for decades. And it's one of the reasons most people are not able to recreate these returns is because they can't leave it alone. They end up making a big year. One year they make 30, 40% or something like that. Like the last 2 years we're up 50%. They can't just not touch it. They have to take profit and try to hand pick tops and bottoms and all this different stuff. And so in long-term results, they end up missing out on these gains because they want to mess with it too much. They want to be stock market wizard instead of just smart about it. And it's one of the reasons money managers can be useful, like people that invest your money for you, is because what they're going to do is they're going to put it there and sit it and leave it alone because they got all these other accounts they're dealing with. They don't have time to hand pick stocks for you. They're going to stick you in index funds and just let it sit. And that's where you get these big returns. But yeah. But nobody wants to hear that. Everybody wants to be the most exciting thing, and the most exciting thing is to hand pick stocks. But it's just not it's not the biggest edge for sure. You could buy at the top and break even after 15 years. Yeah, in the worst case scenario, Jonathan, right? Like we can isolate the worst case scenario in finance over the last 100 years. But is that really a reasonable explanation of risk? I don't think so. I think, sure, that could certainly happen, right? But I think if you dollar cost average over long periods of time, you're almost certain to make money, And I think people look at the worst case scenario, even still, right? If you're holding something for 20, you're still going to make money. And so it really just depends on risk tolerance. If you're retiring imminently, yeah, it's probably not a good idea to go super heavy into the stock market because there's variance, especially short term, there's variance. But if you're holding something for decades, it shouldn't matter. And, the ones that end up doing the best, looking at statistics over everything else, including those big down, red years, we're looking at 10% on average every year. And that includes the decade and a half period where we have really big red action. It includes crash statistics. It includes bear market statistics. Still gives you 10 to 15% in the year. And so what it means is that on good years, we're going to do much more than 10%, i.e. this year we're up 25%. Last year we're up 25%, right? And so I'm okay with waiting right now if you want to buy into stuff because you're worried we're going to see some big market correction. I'm okay with that, to be honest. Right? But you don't want to take too long to do that. You can wait a year. That's fine. You don't want to start waiting 5, 10 years and because at that point in time, you're just missing out on the boat. I agree 100%, John. Just don't do the typical retail thing, which is sell for a loss during times the biggest losers in market crashes are people who get emotional and sell. The biggest winners in market crashes are people who get emotional and buy, right? Usually, at least. And so you have to separate yourself from everything else. The most pleasant thought is to understand, hey, no matter what happens, I could hold this for 15 years and make money, no matter what. We could go up, down, or sideways. We could crash massively. Honestly, if we do crash, I'm going to DCA into it. I'm going to add into it because that's what smart investors do. Very famous quote, time to buy is when blood is running in the streets. I can't remember who said it. Was it Rockefeller who said it? It was somebody. You know, fearful when others are greedy is another one. Greedy when others are fearful. I would say learn to trade. I would say 95% of people who day trade lose money. And so you can learn to day trade, but I'm going to hedge with investing as well. And if I am going to day trade, I'm going to trade Top Step funded account program and learn how to do it that way, because that's a much cheaper way to learn, in my opinion. Speaking of that, if you want to check them out, here's the link. They're an affiliate or partner of mine, so I'm biased in their favor. They're an affiliate of mine, so I'm biased in their favor. And so, again, I'm not an actual partner in their business, just to clarify. I am an affiliate of theirs. And so, but if I was learning to day trade, that's where I would go. Because for 49 bucks, I can gain some experience, learn how to trade under pressure. If I'm good enough, I still get a reward for it. And if I was going to pay for a demo account with real-time data outside of Top Step, it would cost a similar amount regardless. And so the value's there. No PDT in futures. Patterns are super similar to day trading stocks and indexes, which you can trade in futures. You can't trade stocks directly, but you can trade indexes or indices. However, if you want to say the fancy way, you can. But check it out. There's the link. Great way to help support the channel. Top 3 transitions into a plug. Looking at our, we asked people, is Nvidia going to beat or miss? 77% think they're going to beat. 23% think they're going to miss here, chat. So we'll see what we get. So again, we are going to be day trading the opening bell live. We got 15 minutes. Chat, 15 minutes. All right. So we've been in this downward trend. You can kind of see the break of structure and the downward trend we're getting. Again, I tend to do better after the open, so I'm sticking around waiting. Did my camera freeze? Are we good? Let me see. Oh. My camera did freeze, guys. I'm sorry. Let me fix it. All right, I'm sorry. Let me add it back. See if I can reset it, honestly. Weird, man. My camera just froze, dude. Honestly, it's strange. I don't know why my camera just froze. Yeah, I mean, I'll get it out the way, but I'll get it back up. Just hold on. There we go. All right, we got it back. I don't know what was wrong with it. Here, I got you guys. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with the camera. Yeah, some people just don't have the personality for it, Jonathan. And when I'm looking at it, I'm really talking about like the long-term statistical edge of markets, right? Like day trading's great. And it can be a skill that you'll have for the rest of your life if you do it correctly, right? But most people do not do it correctly, and most people lose money. And that's why like funded account programs are incredibly useful in that regard. But you gotta have reasonable expectations for it. The real problem is that people put out these courses and they act like everybody can just be some super pro day trader. And most of the time they're just trying to sell you courses on stuff, right? Most day traders lose. And so I try to be very honest with my viewers about it. You know, one thing that you'll see is everybody wants to be an expert. Everybody wants to hindsight trade and critique. Like if I get into a losing trade, they want to act like they knew beforehand or whatever it is. But if they get into a trade and they're wrong about it, they'll never speak up, right? And so they're only speaking up when I lose to try to get validation. Everybody wants to be an expert. Almost all day traders lose money, right? Almost all. Again, I make certainly much more in marketing than I ever do day trading. But again, I'm very honest and transparent about that. And I think that's different as opposed to most other people out there who, you know, they're selling you a dream. I'd rather be honest about it and tell you that most day traders lose. And that's why Top Step is valuable. It's because it limits that risk that most day traders end up taking. But yeah. All right, chat. Look at that big breakdown here. Look at the NASDAQ dump here, guys. I'm wondering if this is driven by any other type of news. So I'm looking at the NASDAQ here. I'm looking at Tesla. It's not Tesla driving it. I'm looking at Apple. Apple's down, but I don't think that's driving it either. Microsoft cracked lows. Nothing. What is dragging this market down here? What blue chip stocks falling down quickly? Look at this market dump here. Wells Fargo. No. It ain't Target. Comcast. Boo. I'm glad Comcast gave up all its gains. Look at this big drop. Usually this is driven by something. No, I mean one of the Mag 7 stocks. I'm trying to see what's dragging. It could be AMD. Well, yeah, but indexes are made up of stocks. Bog. So indexes are made up of stocks. So if we have this big drop in an index like the NASDAQ, typically the reason it's dropping is because blue chip stocks are dropping. And I see some drops in stocks. I see Apple. Apple's down some. It's testing lows. Amazon. Meta. Amazon cracked lows. Microsoft maybe. Is it Broadcom? AVGO? Yeah, it could be Broadcom. Broadcom cracked lows. Meta, AMD. Yeah, a lot of these are down. AMD looks like what it is. AMD's getting pushed. I got wrecked on Target. How? All right, so we got a big bounce back here, chat. We got 6 minutes left. 6 minutes. Yeah, so again, my wife has this weird neighbor, bro, that he used to live by us, bro. He tried reaching out again. And this is like an old man. He looks like Santa Claus. Like, Carol ended up coming to me, showing me some of this stuff, dude. And it's like strange, man. So like basically, he's like a stalker, right? His name's Scott. He's super freaking weird, man, and just off. You could tell like he never wanted to get old, and he's really struggling with accepting the fact that like he's an old man. He's trying to like use young people slang, you know. He's calling his wife his girl, right? Like this is like a 70-year-old man. It would be kind of like the equivalent if I went around and I was like, hey, no cap, you know, this coffee's busting this morning, no cap, no cap, chat. You know, just weird, bro. I don't know what to do. We just try to avoid him altogether and distance ourselves from him as much as we can. But it really goes to show, like, you can't be nice to anybody, especially if you're like a pretty like girl. Like, you can't be nice to anybody, man. They're the only ones who make the lithography machines that Taiwan Semiconductors make. Yeah, no. So he texted her, and he disguised it as like he was sending a group message to everybody on our cul-de-sac talking about some type of party he was having, right? But like, and again, she came to me with this saying, "Hey, look at this. It's just off, right?" And so it's just this really weird feeling. Like, he's just super strange. I'm pretty sure he drinks a lot too, so he's like struggling. You know. Yeah, weird. All done for the day. Yeah, creepy Santa doesn't bring gifts. Yeah. Yeah, man, it's just really odd. Like, I think he just got hyper focused on my wife, because like we did this, right? Like, I'll show you guys. Like, my wife did this, and my wife's like pretty, you know, and like he saw this and like super hyper focused on it. Got like really weird. Man, they need to fix their website though. They got too much. Oh my gosh, dude. I hate, honestly, bro. Like, I hate sites that put the fake X. So like, if you click on it, it looks like you're exiting out, but really it's a trap, and it brings you to like a different part of the site. But yeah, so like, we went on a plane, right? And like, my wife did this interview, and like, he saw it and got like super obsessed, and like would start messaging her weird stuff, and she would come to me and be like, hey. And so then we started distancing ourselves from him, and then he got even weirder. He got even crazier, and like, you know, just wouldn't accept that we didn't want him around us anymore. And so it got weird, right? It got to a point where Carol would see him out in public. Like, Carol would go to Walgreens and call me on the phone and be like, hey, he's here, you know, like super strange. We eventually moved away from him and like basically ignored him, but it just got really weird, man. We got 2 minutes, chat, 2 minutes. Bitcoin's up to almost 95,000. Yeah. Yeah, hide your kids, hide your wife. Wasn't lying. All right, guys. So again, we got the opening bell coming up. Bitcoin almost at lifetime highs. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Rolly, we're in Texas, and so, you know, not the right house for it here, you know. But yeah, it's just odd, man. And I told him some stuff too, like, hey, stay away from us. And he, you know, you could just tell he just doesn't have much going on. Like, he's just kind of struggling. Yeah. Yeah, we moved away and just got away from it, and, you know. But it's just unfortunate, right? Like, you can't be nice. Like, we're nice to all our neighbors because they're our neighbors, especially if you're old, right? If you're old and, like, some pretty girl's being nice to you, it's probably not because she's into you. It's probably because you're old. No offense. Like, in general, you know. And so don't be weird, man. Don't stalk people. It's just out there, man. It's strange. Anyways, 10 seconds here, guys. 10 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Target did break down. We bounced right back, and we already took some profit in it already. But we're going to get ready to day trade actively. I'm going to wait for 5 minutes to pass, at least for the opening bell to hit first. Yeah, so the Japanese NK leading the drop this morning, too. So I'm wondering if that's going to affect things, too. Yeah. Yeah, he was never super inappropriate. It was just more of like an obsessive stalkerish kind of thing. And so it's not like I always describe it as like plausibly deniable, right? So like if we press him about it, he's going to be like, "What are you talking about?" But it's just strange, right? Too obsessive over somebody else. And so just odd, just very weird, kind of weird guy. All right, so Nvidia, big dump at the opening bell. This should probably drag the rest of the market down. Look at GameStop try to bounce here as well. Bitcoin just broke lifetime highs again. It's at almost 95,000 for Bitcoin. Yeah, it was kind of almost like he was always looking out of his window, trying to find a reason to come over and talk to us, and then just got really weird. Yeah. Apple ripping up, AMD selling off. Bitcoin broke lifetime highs again, up to almost 95K. Nvidia did fall down. Look at that big down wick, though. Again, I'm going to wait. I'm tempted to short this right now, but I really have to wait. I'm going to wait until at least 4 minutes after the open. At least 4. I think 4 is reasonable. Tesla climbing up. Tesla's flat too on the day, though. It's kind of neutral. Nvidia's dumping down too here. I'd usually buy this up, but we're still a little bit close. I'd usually want to buy this up in Nvidia. You see this big up wick? I usually like buying this up because a lot of the time we're at least going to fill the top, but the volatility is a little bit higher right now, and so it's not necessarily as guaranteed as we see it, just because we're so close to the lows as well. I don't really want to buy it up, but we're going to wait and try to be patient. Yeah, Tesla's not really climbing up. Tesla's kind of flat at the open. Hasn't really moved much. Target's down a little bit. We're still green, though. And again, if tomorrow morning opens and we're lower, I'll probably add to it. Yeah, I should have taken that short that I talked about. Glad I didn't buy up that candle wick right here for Nvidia. It's just too close to the open. I really gotta let 5 minutes pass first. You guys red or green so far this morning? Yeah, I'm gonna put Bitcoin up because Bitcoin's the one that I'm seeing is going kind of crazy. Last candle it broke lifetime highs. All right, we're gonna buy this up now. 2 contracts here. It's pretty volatile though. We took a piece of that off, so we just made about $20 very quickly buying that dip. Find some stuff to trade here. All right, so we're gonna buy this dip up again. We might add some more to it too, just a small trade. All right, so we got 2 contracts here. We're rejecting. I don't want to get stuck in this.
Let's talk. You won't grow your family wealth listening to Wall Street pundits and guessing about.
Oh my gosh, bro. Nobody click. They freaking get you, bro. Like, there's freaking ads, man. All right. We ended up losing partly because I was distracted here, but it's okay. I'm gonna wait. The downward pressure is a little bit too much for the NASDAQ right now. It's a little bit too weak. Yeah, that was an advertisement that they threw on the website I was on. All right, so we have a downward trending move here. It really depends on what Nvidia does. I think that leads the whole market today. I've been trying to attack like choppy range, but it's still difficult to. Like, I'll try again here. 3 contracts. But I also just kind of keep getting beat up attacking these, so I do have to be careful. Try adding one more to this. We're going to take a longer term strategy here, but if we break down too much, we'll cut it, but I want to give it time. Nvidia is starting to rise up, so I want to see if this will drag the rest of the market up with us. I'm trying to give it time, but man, this thing's going against. Gotta stop trying to call reversals, I think. I'm not gonna add to this either. We're just gonna cut it, I think, pretty closely here. Unless we retrace a lot right now. There's one retracement, but I don't think it's enough. Yeah, we gotta get out. We're gonna switch accounts. Just too much, man. Just too much, unfortunately. We got this other funded account that. All right, so we're still flushing down here, but the question is, do we bounce back at any now? We've just broken down so much. I gotta wait. Try to let things stabilize first. I think certain people, if you're nice to them, they take advantage. 100%. That's exactly what it is. And I think some people like that don't have much going for them, right? Like they're struggling, like they don't have much going for them. I think they get excited really easily over things, and that's excitement causes infatuation, and infatuation causes like toxic behavior. All right, so again, we're just flushing down here. Nvidia just cracked lows again. Looking kind of rough here, chat. So we're gonna wait and try to let things play out some, but not looking good. Big red action. Maybe Nvidia will save the day. We'll see. Shaking the week out first. I don't know, man. Again, I gotta trade like slow. I don't want to risk too much. You know. The red action starting. The question is, when does the red action stop? And I don't know. I don't want to jump in it because it's too down so much, but I also don't want to short because it's extended way too much on the downside. Just brutal red action. So we're just waiting, to be honest. I don't know if there's any big edge here. Either side. I know we could pile low and short, but I don't really want to do that either. Like, what I will do is I might trade some challenge accounts as we wait. I think we have one that we could trade. Yeah. We'll trade a challenge account while we wait. I'm going to put up the regular NASDAQ. And we're going to buy in this here. See if we can hit 1500. Strategy. Well, a lot of stuff's so red right now. About to throw my advice out the window. I would recommend most people sit out right now. Like I'm trading a challenge account to just kind of have some fun on stream, limit my risk a little bit. I just don't I don't like a long right here based off of how much I lost earlier. But I don't really like a short here based off of how much we pushed down. And so it's part of one of those markets where you should probably just sit and wait. Don't let me add more. No, it's 5 max, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm expecting more of a clear blow off. Yeah, I mean, something that you see sometimes during earnings, right? Today's Nvidia earnings. So sometimes what we see with big tech earnings, I haven't seen it a lot with Nvidia, but we see like long-term big red days and then the earnings report rebounds it back up, right? Or it could be the opposite of that, where the earnings report causes the opposite reaction. All right, so we're gonna sell most of this here, lock in our little couple $1,000 profit. Our goal on this is to hit 1,500 one day, 1,500 the next, right? So we got about 820 in profit right now, 820. We will buy a dip down here though, but so there's 3. We'll trade off of this risk. There we go. There we go. All right. So we are very close. We need 200 bucks, 300 bucks roughly. We don't want to buy that yet. We got to just wait. Nvidia finally coming back to rebound, so maybe our buys would have worked. We're just a little bit early. Yeah, I'm down on my target trade now. Luckily, we took some profit off of it. I'll probably add some back to it tomorrow, though. We just can't add to it right now. And this is the whole market being red right now. We're going to buy this dip. It's really risky. We're just going to take one contract here, though. We're going to see if we can make this little few $100s with one contract as opposed to multiple. That way, if we're wrong, it's not the end of the world. We can still have a chance. Depends on what Nvidia does right here, though. It really does. Like, Nvidia is the big one that you want to watch. This is a day where like a low of the day break might work. You just got to be careful, guys. Right, there we go. We're up. I'm going to cut this there. I just don't trust it, to be honest. We might have bounced back up, but there's too much risk here. Buy it back in. Scalp a little bit more, make about $100. Yeah, so we need less than 250 now on this account. Contracts Lewis. So in the futures market, they give you a demo on Top Step, and they test your skill with it. And in the futures market, you're trading contracts that expire quarterly, right? So I can trade indices like the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, the Dow, the Russell. Patterns are super similar to blue chip stock day trading patterns, but there's no PDT rule, right? And these funded account programs are allowed. If you want to dip your toes in it and test out the futures market, try Top Step. It's the best way to learn. They're an affiliate of mine, so I'm biased for sure, but it really is a good way to learn how to day trade with limited risk. The base one's 49 bucks. They're going to test your skill. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose the 49 bucks that you pay for it. And so it's just a good way to learn how to day trade. If you want to check it out there, again, option, a good way to learn how to day trade. Just understand CFTC 4.41 hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations, guys. Definitely not an investment professional today. I'm top 3 worst trader of all time right now today. So we'll see if we do better tomorrow, chat. But yeah. All right, we need another $200. If we can get close. All right, so we just made another $100 here. So we're gonna switch to micro contracts now. Why couldn't I do this well when I actually started freaking trading my funded account? I'm gonna start to short up here. Oh man, we just missed that. Well, we still got time to enter. Now we don't. Oh well. Try to buy in here. We're gonna take a scaling approach, give us the highest chance. Take 4 contracts here. Maybe take 5. Maybe take up to 10. There's 8. 9, 10, make it clean 10. No, that's a bad sign. Okay, let me double my size. We'll take the risk just because it's a combine account. See if we can retrace back up. If we get caught in a bad downward pressure, it's going to give back some of our profit though. We just took half off. Small little $100 now, so it's not the end of the world, and we'll give it more time to come back. Take some more. There we go. Take some more. All right, so we just actually made money somehow right there. I'll take another 3 contracts here, see if we can pop up. The good thing about the Top Step X is that there's 0 commission on this. So I can day trade short, buy market, sell market. There's no commission structure here. But there's 74 cents in fees per micro contract, so it's tiny. We're close though. We need the $100 and we'll have this. All right, there we go. I'll start to unload some of this size now. Very close. It's gonna take our goal away. Let's see if we get out. This is not a good sign. I'm gonna have to cut this. Kind of going back and forth though. We're still up 12.50. A little bit over that actually. A lot of it depends on Nvidia here. And there's the crack of the lows. I don't know what we're gonna do on this low crack though. We could break down more. A lot of it's gonna be based off of what Nvidia does here too. At this point, we're just kind of chopping back and forth. I'm gonna buy this back. 3 contracts. We're gonna add to a winner here. There we go. Take most of that off. Take a little bit more off there too. All right, we need $200. I'm gonna take the other side short now. Cover it quickly. Hello? Hey. All right, guys, so we got some upward movement. We're kind of flat and choppy now. I'm gonna buy this and we're gonna add to it and take our risk here. We got 6. We'll add up to 10, 9, 10. Oof, not what we wanted. The exact opposite, of course, of what we wanted. We're almost there. We're getting close. We're just not quite getting it done. If we break 200, we'll get out of this. But I'm gonna take half of this off and then try to maybe leave the rest a little bit longer. Keeps me in a good spot to potentially get funded, and I can also add to this if I ever choose to. I'm gonna add to this. I think it's gonna bounce up, honestly, but I might be wrong. Don't copy me. There we go. We're basically flat. Now we're green. I think we're down enough, but so we just took some off, but we got a bad fill on the rest, which is all right, I guess. Still got 5 contracts, so if this moves up, it'll profit enough for us. But I'm gonna start locking some in just because I see Nvidia coming down some now. I don't want to get stuck in a drop. Now we're just gonna wait kind of flat. Nvidia's starting to chop around. I don't know what I want to do. Try to buy this now too, but there we go. There's Nvidia starting to fall. I don't want to get stuck in that. Yeah, I mean, we got out pretty close to flat based off all these trades. We gave ourselves some good chances. We just never quite hit it. Why don't you just say the price? Because I'm getting in and out so quickly, it doesn't matter. The price, it's going to be so quickly. I don't want you guys copying me either. Alright, we'll try 3 here. There we go. That's nice. We got 17 contracts now. Yeah, I'm gonna cut a large chunk of that off there. We're going back and forth. Maybe I should have just stuck with the regular E-mini contracts. I'm assuming, I'm trying to buy into this betting on Nvidia chopping back and forth, but it just hasn't been. I could also add more to this if I want, but it just doesn't hold. When it does go up, it doesn't hold long enough for me to really get a good profit fill. Crack the low of that candle, we're gonna get out and have to maybe readjust with regular E-mini contracts. There's too much red action. I don't want to get stuck in. Yeah, we're just gonna have to readjust. Bad string of trades for sure there. But again, we're already up 1,000 on the day or close to it. And so we'll have to come back and see if we get in couple better trades with regular NASDAQ contracts. I'm trying to get 5 funded accounts. So if you see me here, that's what we're trying to get. There's actually some red action that maybe we could piggyback off of. Are y'all lagging at all? We got this one that we're trying to play with too. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna come back for Nvidia earnings though. We're just not really getting any good price action. Like, we're consolidating a lot, slight downtrend, but I don't trust it enough, and it's too extended on the downside for me to really want to attack it. As well as it's Nvidia earnings day, and I don't want to get stuck in chop if we do get it like attacking a deep trend on earnings day. So I'll be back later on today, guys. There's just not enough going on. Definitely red today for sure, but that's all right. Like, it's you know, red days, red weeks, red months happen. It's all good. Hey, I love you all. I'll be back. Nvidia earnings later on today. We'll see if we get anything good. I'll update you guys on my stats. Join our Discord if you haven't already. Our Discord's completely free, doesn't cost anything. I'll try to give some updates into this Discord on what I'm doing. Join this Discord. Also, check out Top Step. They're an affiliate or sponsor of mine. You know, genuinely a good way to learn how to day trade with limited risk, because no matter what here, this is a challenge account that I switched to after losing on my funded account. So no matter what, it's not the end of the world if I lose, right? If I pass it, I get tons of funding, 90% split. If I fail, I only lose what I pay for it. In this case, you know, 50 bucks. It's not the end of the world. Check it out if you want to know more info. You can check out their TOS and stuff like that. Here's the link if you want to check them out. Again, they're an affiliate of mine. I'm biased. I'll be back later on for the Nvidia earnings chat. So Nvidia earnings coming pretty soon. And just to put it out there, we on this account, we just made about 200. But again, I'm letting it sit here. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. I'll be back later on. We'll be back in like 7 hours, 7.5 hours. I'll see you guys then.